welcome back to the Loose Transistor channel. We're back at the field again today to do a little bit more of the Kalman testing that I know you guys wanted me to do. So today we're going to be looking into Kalman Q and Kalman R, and we're going to be testing out an F4 board or an F4 build that I did with BL Heli 32 because as you guys, if you've been following along, I found that my F7 with 32-bit ESCs flew a lot better than my F4 did. So I'm trying to figure out if it's the F7 or if it's the 32-bit ESCs. So what I got here is my test quad. So this is a Mia X frame. You guys probably see me flying a few of these, or seen a lot of pictures of these guys. I have a lot of these frames. So I built another one. It's running a CL Racing F4, the DYS 32-bit ESCs. We have here the Brother Hobby Deadpool motors 2306, 2450. So there should be plenty of chooch to go. We're just using a little VTX03 there in the back, and overall very, very nice tight little package, nothing too crazy. Mostly a test bed for us to see whether or not 32-bit ESCs tune well. So we're going to be tuning this guy here together today, doing some testing on that. And we got this guy right here as well. So I managed to flash the high 6-inch over to BL Heli, or sorry, over to Betaflight with the Kalman version. So we're going to be testing tuning the 6-inch with biblades on Kalman, and this is going to be the first quad we're going to tune together. So we're going to do this one first and see how it goes, play around with some Q&R, and go from there. So I just got to swap the props on this guy here because a couple of them are kind of beat up, and we'll do a maiden and we will start tuning this guy. A couple of things that I figured I should mention to you guys before we go on. First of all, I'm going to be tuning with the HD camera on. It's not going to be on the first few flights because I don't have that much battery on them and I don't have that big of a SIM card. So I won't be able to get you guys all the flights. However, I'll do this and tune it with it on so that we get the right tune for it. And then I'm going to do the final flight. We will get it in HD so you guys can see what the final tune is like before I leave the park. For now, the tuning steps are still going to be going through the DVR because that's how I tune. I do not tune using HD. HD I use to check at the end, so we'll do that. Other than that, this quad here is running Betaflight 3.3. This is build 521, which is the last build available with Kalman because they're doing that whole FIR bi-quad test thing. So that's what I flashed here. It is running stock settings, exactly the settings that our SDK recommended, but in this case here, this is an F4 running at 8 kilohertz using D-Shot 600. Q and R are at this stock. There is no notch filtering going on, but there is dynamic filter, air mode, and anti-gravity. So let's get this ready here to rock. All right, here we go. Well, that feels pretty damn good already. Even on stock, this is not bad at all, guys. Feels very responsive. I'm running stock bids, stock Q&R, but the biblades are great. Super controllable, no prop wash right now. Let's do some prop wash testing. Very minimal, almost none at all. So we can definitely push the P gains on this guy here. Very impressed with how Kalman filters are handling the 6-inch biblades. They're fantastic. Wow. Just feels so controllable. A little bit of vibration on mid-throttle there, but I'm hoping we're going to clean that up without much issue later on. Wow, this just feels so nice to fly, guys. It sounds pretty good too. It's definitely not like pushing the tune that much. It's nice and soft. Would look nice on HD, I think. Not a lot of vibration. A little bit of mid-throttle oscillation, but not terrible. Let's do some throttle from low to high real quick here. A little bit of vibration on very, very high throttle. Not too bad. It almost feels like the noise in my video is cleaner too, which is kind of hilarious because I haven't used anything to clean the video up on this guy here. On the 5-inch that I built that I brought to you guys to test the 32-bit, I actually am using the RTFQ whatchamacallit, the LC filter. Man, that thing is nice. It cleaned up my video right up. Wow, I could fly this all day without even tuning it. Okay, let's bring it back because the battery's starting to show that it's low, but we can start pushing up the P gains a little bit and get maybe a tighter little tune here in a sec. Okay, alright, so that was our first flight. I have to say that felt pretty damn good. It's stock Kalman, stock PIDs pretty much. I think the only thing that I did change was integral before I left. Well, let's go check it out right now. Let's plug it into the computer here. Let's see what we're set at. Okay, so I'm looking at the PID tab here for the 6-inch. What we have is on roll, we have 58P, we have 40I, 20D. On pitch, we have 58P, 50I, and 20D. So actually, I did move it a little bit. I made them a little bit more even before I left. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. So that wasn't quite stock. It was pushed a little bit more. Yaw, we have 60 and then 45. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put integral to 60 across the board because that's how I like my quads to feel in terms of I always end up at about 60. I like it to feel like nice and robotic in that sense. I'm gonna leave derivative at 20 right now because that's fine. Now I'm gonna start pushing P. I'm gonna go to 70 on pitch and roll, and then we're gonna come back from there. I'm gonna leave yaw at 60 right now. We'll do yaw last. So we went 60 on integral across the board. We still have 20 on derivative, and we have 70P for roll, 70P for I. Let's do a little test here. But honestly, I'm pretty impressed with how good this is already flying compared to what it was before. I always had like much more pronounced mid-throttle oscillations, and on this build, it didn't show up on the HD as well because I did put some damping to reduce that jello, but I could always see it in my goggles, and it's already feeling a lot better in that sense. It's much more stable. It just responds nicely. It's sharp. So let's do another flight here. We're gonna do it with the settings that I just gave you guys. We're not messing with Q and R right now because we might not have to. It feels pretty good. If it still feels good after we get that all sorted out, I'm gonna start increasing Q because the way it works is more Q equals less filtering, and then more R equals more filtering. Roughly, okay? That's roughly what it is. It's a terrible explanation. It's extremely oversimplified. That's how it was explained to me in terms of tuning, and that's what I'm gonna do to tune it. So here we go. We're gonna do another quick little flight with this one is gonna be shorter with the settings that we just discussed. A little bit of bounce back. Let's see the roll axis. Yeah, a little tiny bit of bounce back near the end there, so the P might be a little bit too high. Let's try a Propwash. Yeah, Propwash is more pronounced. Let's see the throttle range. No problem with the throttle range there. Okay, I can hear a little bit of fluttering on the props there during that maneuver, so that tells me that I'm pushing P a little bit too high. So it's gonna bring it back, we're gonna reduce P, we're gonna try again. Yeah, so our P is a little bit too sharp. It's giving me those little triple oscillations near the end, so that actually means that we're pretty close to the top limit of what P can do for us on this build. So actually I can start bringing that back down. So what I'm gonna do now is probably knock it back 5 points or so on both pitch and roll. So here we go. So we're back to the PID screen. We have 70 for roll. We're gonna go down to 66. Pitch, I'm gonna go down to 64, 65 actually. And yaw, I'm actually gonna bring up. I'm gonna bring up yaw to 65 as well. Derivative still 20. Gonna leave it alone because it seems to be the 20 is about where I end up. More than that, it starts to give me a lot of trouble. Less than that, it also starts to give me trouble, just a different type of trouble. 20 seems to be a nice sweet spot for me right now. Most of my builds end up between 17 and 20. So here we go. We're gonna do another flight, this time with the settings that we just set. So we knocked everything down a bit, about 66 for P for pitch and 64 for roll. So here we go. Quad sounds better, sounds a little bit quieter. Feels super sharp. No flutters. A little bit of flutters there, but not terrible. Could live with it. Feels nice. Let's see what happens if I try to drop it and catch it. Not bad. A little bit of vibration, but not terrible. Let's check the... Yeah, a little bit of prop wash still. We can probably clean that up by bringing everything down just a tiny little bit. When it's warm weather, I can usually get 4 or so flights out of a battery to actually tune it with before I have to change the battery. But it's cold, so 2 flights is about all I get, which kind of reduces my tuning efficiency here. But I'm hoping that I can do this in 1 more battery maybe. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring down P gains just slightly. I'm gonna turn up D gain just a smidgen. Okay, so here we go. We're at the PID screen. I'm actually gonna bring down yaw a little bit too. I'm gonna bring down yaw to 63. I'm gonna bring down pitch to 64. I'm gonna roll to 65. Actually 64 as well. I'm gonna bring derivative up 1 point, so 21. And I'm gonna reduce my filtering slightly because it's flying pretty well. So my gyro Kalman Q is set to 300 right now. I'm gonna set it to 500. So we reduced our filtering a little bit. I have a battery here. I'm gonna test it out and see how well it flies. I am really liking this Kalman filter. It has brought back biblades for me. It's made biblades easy to tune again like they were before all this mess. And before I could tune in biblades in 2-3 batteries, and now with the previous version of 3.2, it was taking me forever and I could never get rid of the mid and high throttle oscillations no matter what I did. Alright guys, so here we are. We reduced our filtering a little bit on Q because this quad is flying super nicely, so don't have to worry about that too much. Let's see how it feels with the settings that we just flashed. Not bad, a little bit of prop wash, but it's so minor. I'm also like not being kind about it. Yep. Nope, that's bringing out more noise. So I'm gonna go back to Kalman Q300. Sometimes the defaults are the defaults for a reason, right? They work pretty well. So I actually found that the lowered filtering that I just did there, bringing Kalman Q to 500, actually brought out more electrical noise on my video, and it also, I could feel more oscillations on the quad. So that tells me that there's a need for the filter to be at the level that it was at before. So I'm gonna go back to that. So get Kalman. All right, here we go again. This time I'm back with Kalman where it was before. Haven't changed anything on the PID gains. It was pretty damn close to flying great here, guys. Better, yeah. Much better. Let's do a quick test here of the, yep, that feels pretty good, stops almost instantly. I don't know guys, I'm pretty happy with the tune of this quad here. There's still a tiny little bit of prop wash oscillation on some really hard throttle changes, but then at that point you're really fighting physics. Alright, I'm very happy with how this is flying. So what we're gonna do now is put the HD on it and do a flight with the HD, and then you guys can judge and tell me what do you think of the tune. Well, that took forever to just install this damn camera. I really hope that we will get some footage from this because it's not working very well. So here we go. Best of luck to everybody. I'm gonna record this flight with the DVR just in case, but I have no hopes here, guys. I don't own a GoPro, and that run cam 2 is a piece of crap, so here we go. Yep, there you go. I turned off midair, so boo. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get you guys any HD footage, guys, because yep, my run cam is fucked again. This is why you don't buy run cams, because they're a piece of garbage. So anyway, I wasn't too happy with how that flew because I could hear some oscillations, so I think that's the D term. I'm gonna bring it down actually to 819 right now. Do one more flight, and I think that will conclude our 6-inch. Then we can move on to doing the 5-inch. So I'm really sorry for promising you guys the HD footage and not being able to get it. It's just one of those things. I really need to get my hands on a GoPro. Alright, so I brought derivative down to 19 at this point. And we're gonna give that a shot. Let's see how that flies. Better. Well, there you have it, guys. I believe this is to be tuned well enough, at least well enough for me right now. Can't really confirm it without the HD, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. I was really looking forward to seeing this on HD. However, one of the most marked difference for me in terms of this quad, the 6-inch, is how much better it sounds. Before, even with the tune that I had before, and I've done some flights with it and shown you guys some HD footage of that tune before, it flew well, but it always sounded like it was somewhat turkey calling a little tiny bit. That has reduced a lot with Kalman filters, so I'm definitely a convert to Kalman filters, especially for 6-inch biblade. Very, very happy with how this is performing. I'm pretty sure we can tighten it up a little bit more and just get rid of a little bit of those tiny oscillations. It's so damn close, but I've gone through half my batteries right now, and I want to do the 5-inch because that one has a 32-bit. I want to see how that one works out. So I'm going to pull the HD camera out of here, and I'm going to put it on the 5-inch. Alright guys, so here we have the 5-inch that I wanted to tune to 32-bit. It does have an HD camera on it already set up, which is pretty nice. I'm going to use this as a hybrid 5-inch like racer slash freestyle rig, something like that. Anyway, this one here has the 32-bit ESCs. This one does have stock Betaflight settings. I do not touch anything other than enable Kalman and do the settings that RS2K recommended for you to start off with. So we have a battery here. We're about to do our maiden and see how this guy's flying before we start messing around with pit gains and Q gains and all that. So in terms of my 6-inch, we didn't play around with Q that much because the quad is flying pretty great with stock Q. When I tried to increase Q to reduce some filtering, it was not happy. So I'm gonna leave my quad at those settings. So just to recap, if you lower or if you increase your Q value on your Kalman Q value, you are effectively reducing the amount of filtering that your quad is receiving. If you increase R, on the other hand, you're increasing the amount of filtering that you need. Now you can do this with black box, you can do it by feel. It's probably better to do it with black box, it's more exact. But yeah, that's just so you guys understand what's going on here. So stock Betaflight Kalman filters going on the 5-inch. This is the maiden. I have not flown this thing at all, other than like a little bit of a hover at home. Boom, here we go. All right, let's see how this guy goes. Wow, what a difference, guys. So before, with the stock 3.2, for example, on biblades 5-inch, my quad would be turkey calling every time I did this. And now it's perfect, literally perfect, no problem. So this is a good racer, in my opinion. It's a lot of tight cornering here. Feels pretty damn nice on stock. That felt a bit weird. Let's see how the axes feel here. A little bit slow. Let's see the roll axis. Yep, bounces a little. Yeah, so the axes are a little bit bouncy. It's not perfect, the quad feels a bit loose, so we're gonna start tightening it all up here. First of all, let me say that I'm pretty impressed with these Gemfan 5152s. These are nice props. They sound mean as hell. Pack quite a bit of a punch, and so far they've been fairly easy to tune. Didn't have such luck with a previous rig of mine with the 5152s, but I did put Kalman filter on it, so I'm gonna try that one later and I'll report back to you guys. But honestly, I'm starting to almost believe on Lumpy Donut when he says to me that tuning is dead. Almost. I think we can get this quad to feel a little bit tighter because it is a little bit all over the place right now, so not as tight as I would like. So we're going back to the pitch screen. Pitch, we have a 40, P gains for roll are 40, pitch are 58, yaw is 70. So I'm gonna take down yaw to 64, 65 right now. I'm gonna bring pitch up to 60, and I'm gonna bring roll up to 60 as well. We'll see how that feels. Like that's probably gonna be about the limit of what this quad can do. Integral, we're gonna go 60, 60, and 60. And you might be wondering, why am I going to such odd, crazy values right away? I have tuned probably 8 of these quads with very, very similar configurations, so I'm not going to waste my time redoing things that I already know, or at least I already know where the top limit's going to be. This is mostly for us to test out Kalman and see how well it's handling these quads. Alright, so we're going with roll 60p, pitch 60p, and yaw 65, integral 60 across the board, derivative of 20. Q and R are still stock. I have not touched those. We'll touch these later if we feel the need, because right now this quad's flying pretty damn well. Motors are cold. I mean, it's 7 or 8, no, sorry, it's like 2 or 3 degrees out today. So it's not super cold, but it's also not warm. Motors are cold to the touch, nothing at all. So that felt pretty damn good, and I ended up getting carried away and using the whole battery, which was not my intention at all. But since we're here, let's try this again. Yeah, I'm gonna go to 65 on roll, 65 on pitch, leave derivative where it is. Leave yaw where it is. Actually, I'm going to bring yaw up a little bit. 68. So we have 65 on pitch, 65 on roll, 68 on yaw. I'm going to try another test here. That felt pretty damn good, especially for a racer. Still had a little bit of Propwash here and there, but very minor, I'd have to say. Nothing that crazy. This is with the 32-bit ESCs, and it's pretty damn easy to tune so far, I have to say. Very, very easy to tune. All right, here we go. We're gonna do another flight. Oh, my lens is all dirty. There we go, that's better. Wow, no problem. Let's see how the axes are responding. Pretty good. Pretty decent. It's fast and sharp. I like how sharp it feels. It's tiniest bounce back, like almost nothing. This quad feels incredibly sharp, guys. It's actually quite a joy to fly this thing right now. No vibrations on the fucking full throttle, which is amazing. I was getting so annoyed with that. Every quad that I build with biblades, you go max throttle, the whole thing just tries to shake itself apart. Oh, landed upside down there. So that was a lot better, and I have to say it's like night and day with my other quads of similar configuration. I'm able to push the P gain on this guy much higher. I could probably go up a little bit higher, but don't think I'm going to, because it's already feeling almost too robotic, so I might bring it down a little bit. But damn, I'm impressed. So the next thing we're gonna do here is bump up D gain a little bit just to see if we can clean it up some more. Alright guys, we bumped up derivative to 22, just a couple points up, to see if we can get some better Propwash handling and just to clean up a little bit of what the squad is doing that I don't like. Just a tiny bit of oscillation here and there, but it's minor. Almost feels like mid-throttle oscillation, but we'll see. Okay, we have not touched common Q or R right now. Might touch that in a second here. All right, here we go. We're just testing the new derivative. Well, that was not that much better, so I'm going to bring back that derivative that I just did. I'm going to bring it down a couple points because that actually brought up more noise on my motors. Next thing I'm going to do here is try to reduce some of my filtering because it feels like the quad's flying pretty well. So I'm going to try to reduce some of my filtering by changing common Q. So we're going to go back to derivative 20. Seems to be the sweet spot. I always go back to 20. Okay, I cranked up Q to 500. Should reduce my my filtering a little bit. We'll see how that feels. Common Q at 500. Little bit of bounce back, it seems. Seems like it brought out more noise on my props as well. Yeah, still some Propwash oscillation there, so I think I'm gonna go back. Didn't seem like it liked 500, so it seems like I'm gonna go back to Kalman Q 300 because it was flying pretty nice there and it wasn't giving me as much trouble. So the way you adjust common Q and common R is, well, preferably with a black box so that you actually know and see what you're doing. But if you're doing it by feel, basically what you do is if your quad's flying good and you feel like it's good, you can drop some filtering, or you want to drop some filtering, start increasing Q by about 100. I went to 200 at once because just to test it out, see how it was going. So we backed it down a little bit here, back to 300. I'm pretty sure that 300 is going to be the sweet spot for my quads. It seems like whenever I reduce Kalman filtering, it's making it worse because of the biblades, I would assume. If you're running other types of props, maybe tri-blades, you might have an easier time reducing your filtering. So it's something to keep in mind. Mine has to remain slightly high because of the props that I'm using. So I'm going back to 300 here. Derivative is at 21 all across the board. I believe this will probably be my final flight with this quad in terms of getting it to feel the way that I want it to feel. So let's just check lastly here what other settings I might be missing. All right, perfect. So common Q back to stock 300. PIDs are at 68, 68, 70 right now because I just increased them a little bit. Yeah, this feels pretty good. No drops, so no need to increase anti-gravity. Yep, Propwash is gone. Let's see how the axes look. Not bad, a little tiny bit of bounce back. Minimal though. I can live with this because this is more of a racer anyway. Yeah, that was an awesome slow down. Like, it catches itself very well. Let's let it fall, let it fall, let it fall. Pretty decent. Not terrible. Could be a little bit better for sure. Alright, Alright guys, so I'm in the middle of editing this video for you guys on the Kalman filters, and I took a break and I went out to the field again and I brought my other quads to go out and tune. And I have to say, first of all, it was super damn easy to tune with the new Kalman filters. All my biblade quads are flying awesome. That crazy turkey call at high throttle or mid throttle or whatever is entirely gone. One of the things that I did found playing around with Q and R is that upping Q didn't actually help my case in most cases, but increasing R did, especially on my noisier builds. So I found that a value of R between 100 and 120 seemed to help my quad a lot. Even in instances where I felt like I was very close with the tune, but I couldn't get rid of a little bit of those, a little bit of Propwash, and no matter what I did, increasing Kalman R did fix it for me. So make sure you play around with Kalman R a little bit, especially if you're still getting Propwash. Might be a good thing to do. So I'm gonna leave you guys with the outro of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright guys, so there you have it. We did 2 quad tunes today with Kalman filters installed. So we did the 6-inch and the 5-inch. The 6-inch is flying awesome. I can't wait to get my HD camera fixed so I can get you guys some proper footage from that thing. I really need to get my hands on a freaking GoPro. These stupid run cams have literally just cost me money and never really delivered what I wanted from them. 5-inch is great to go, especially for a racer. It's flying exactly like what I would want. Not great for a freestyle rig right now, but that's not really what I'm going for with this guy. It's kind of just like a hybrid of both. I'm going to take off the camera and fly it around a little bit more. Do I recommend Kalman? Yes, absolutely I recommend Kalman filters. You guys want to get your hands on this, especially if you're flying biblades. I've found that it has really solved my issue with biblades and Betaflight that I've had since 3.2 have come out. Now biblades fly just like any other blade. Yes, I have to use a little bit more Kalman filtering than the rest of you probably, but it's flying great. I can't complain. My motors are cold. So if you have some weird, if you're using biblades or if your quad feels like it's a little bit, you know, not flying right, give Kalman a shot. Just remember that if your quad is flying super well and you feel like you can reduce your filtering, just increase the gyro Kalman Q gain up. So go up 100 and 100 and 100 until you get to the value that starts giving you problems. And on Kalman R, you increase that to increase your filtering. So if you find that your quad's still flying like crap with Kalman on, try increasing your filtering. Maybe you just need a little bit more filtering to get rid of the unwanted noise. So guys, I hope that helps some of you out there and understand a little bit more about Kalman, see the benefits of it, or even just go out there and try it yourself. I'm super happy with it. I do hope that Kalman sticks around unless this PT1 and FIR filter are better. But for right now, I'm super happy with how this is. I flashed over my entire fleet over to 3.3 with Kalman, build 521, and I'm slowly going to be retuning them over the next few days. This is just a fresh build. Now, in terms of the 32-bit and yada, yes, the 32-bit ESCs allowed me to push my P gains much higher than my other quads of similar setup. So I have another quad with the exact same motors, same setup, same everything, but it uses BL Heli S ESCs. That one there, my P gains are about 50. They're just as new as these ones. I barely crashed it, flew it only a few times. So yeah, that one is about low 50s. These ones here are on the high 60s and could probably still go up higher. I just don't like the feel past that. Like the feel where I'm at right now is perfect. So guys, I hope you learned something here today. I hope you subscribe to the channel and come back for more. I will be discussing the 32-bit stuff more in depth later on. But for now, I figured this will give you guys some more information and maybe entice some of you to try out Kalman and fix some of your own issues. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.